Although The Hunting Wives features plenty of solid performances, it is star Brittany Snow who offers a career-best turn in the mystery miniseries. Brittany Snow's career spans 2 decades and, in that time, the star has appeared in a diverse range of roles. In the first years of her screen career alone, Snow displayed an impressive range and eclectic taste. Snow played a supporting role in 2005's family comedy The Pacifier before graduating to the world of teen comedy with 2006's John Tucker Must Die and a supporting role in 2007's Hairspray. However, the same year saw her play a troubled sex worker in 2007's devastating drama On the Doll, and 2008's Prom Night remake introduced her to horror. Since then, Snow has dabbled in drama, rom-coms, satire, and thrillers, as well as returning to comedy and horror. Most recently, Netflix's successful miniseries The Hunting Wives has offered Snow the role of her career as Sophie O'Neill, a new arrival to small-town Texas who becomes embroiled in a dark underworld. Brittany Snow has an impressive filmography. Snow has been busy on screen since as far back as 2005. Brittany Snow as Bobolin in a scene from X. Snow is no stranger to stories like The Hunting Wives, having appeared in psychological thrillers and mysteries before 2025's Netflix series. In 2011, Snow starred in her first thriller when she appeared in 96 Minutes. The next year, shortly after a supporting role in the blockbuster comedy Pitch Perfect, Snow starred in the disturbing psychological horror Would You Rather. Snow also executive produced this underseen gem, proving that her taste in projects extended to movies with a darker edge. 2017 saw the release of Snow's next psychological thriller, Hangman, while 2022 saw Snow play a scene-stealing role in director T. West's instant cult classic X. As such, it should perhaps come as no surprise to realize that Snow's long screen career has been building toward The Hunting Wives. Over the decades, Snow has played resilient heroines in horror movies, quirky comedic relief characters in the likes of Pitch Perfect, and complex, morally ambiguous figures like the good Hafs Lee Wieland. Sophie is Brittany Snow's best work. Snow's performance grounds the potentially absurd The Hunting Wives. Sophie looks upset in The Hunting Wives. As The Hunting Wives Sophie, Snow brings humanity and nuance to a character who could easily be a blank slate. Sophie is a new arrival in Maple Brook, Texas, and her Cambridge, Massachusetts upbringing did little to prepare her for the titular group of wild-living country girls. Although they may be married to wealthy businessmen, these housewives are no ordinary homemakers. Based on the novel of the same name by author May Cobb, The Hunting Wives is a raunchy thriller that takes a peek beneath the cheery veneer of Southern hospitality. As such, it would have been easy for Snow's Massachusetts transplant to feel like a one-dimensional city girl cliché walking into a den of more interesting, complex, thorny female characters. However, The Hunting Wives' global streaming success proves that the adaptation has more to offer than this overly familiar story might imply. For one thing, Sophie has secrets of her own, including a dark past that rivals the hidden histories of the housewives themselves. For another, Snow never reduces her heroine to a predictable shrinking violet. The obvious impulse would be to make Snow Sophie a quiet, meek, and reserved character, to contrast her against the raucous, hard-drinking housewives of the title. However, the entire reason that Marlyn Ockerman's seductive Margot Banks takes a shine to Sophie is that she sees something of herself in the younger woman. Sophie has enough edge to hold her own among the Hunting Wives, and this eventually even earns the ire of Jamie Ray Newman's Callie, Margot's loyal second-in-command. While The Hunting Wives was criticized for its wild and risky storyline, the show's entire premise would fall apart with the wrong star in the lead role. Snow humanizes Sophie but also doesn't take the material too seriously, ensuring The Hunting Wives always maintains a sense of humor throughout proceedings. As things get increasingly campy and Lynchian, it is Snow's grounded portrayal of Sophie that ensures the adaptation still has stakes despite its tilt into outright absurdity near the show's climax. The actor has another Netflix show coming out this year. Netflix's The Beast in Me also stars Snow. Brittany Snow smiling in The Beast in Me. Fortunately for viewers who couldn't get enough of The Hunting Wives, Snow has another Netflix series in the same genre out later in 2025. After the success of The Hunting Wives, The Beast in Me will see Snow play another starring role in a mystery miniseries. The Beast in Me stars Claire Danes as Aggie, an author who is devastated by the death of her young son. Aggie gets a new lease on life and a potentially unhealthy new obsession when Matthew Rhys-Niles, a successful real estate mogul accused of causing his wife's disappearance, moves in next door to her. Snow stars as Niles' wife Nina and, after her disappointingly limited role in Netflix's The Night Agent, this thriller miniseries sounds like it will offer the actor a meatier part to sink her teeth into. Snow's role as Nina in The Beast in Me sounds intriguing, particularly considering the limited information about her character. It is not yet clear if Nina was Niall's wife who went missing or if she is a new partner he married after his first wife's disappearance. If the former is true, Snow's role in the show will likely come in the form of flashbacks, which could make a murky story even more complex and twisty over time.